This is my 11-year-old Xyier. We're doing his hair first. He has already been conditioned and pre-pooed and detangled to make this process go a lot easier. So what I have him do is I get him to put his knees in the chair and lay on the towel that's on the counter. Please excuse my junky counter. My 9-year-old is taking the video, so the frames are very close. Right there you can kind of see the hair I got out and detangling. So yeah, once again my 9-year-old is videotaping, so the frames are a little iffy, but I think you will get the picture. His hair is separated into 4 sections, so I do the back 2 first. And I rinse it really, really good because it does have oil and conditioner in it. And even though his hair is fairly dirty, you see it lathers on the first shot, and I scrub his scalp and just kind of pull it down the length of his hair and rinse it out. Really, really simple to do. And because I pre-pooed and pre-treated and conditioned his hair already, you'll see it's really easy to pull through his hair and shampoo his hair without having all the extra tangles that he would normally have if I didn't do it. Once I'm finished with the back section, I kind of tie it in a knot to keep it out the way, and I work on the front section by untangling each one. 2-strand twist, and you see his hair is going down the drain. It makes me very nervous because he has gotten stuck before. So what I normally do is I throw a comb in the drain to keep his hair from going down, and scrub his hair really good again. You'll see the black comb is in the sink now so that I can avoid him getting stuck in the drain. And I kind of pull through and detangle a little bit as I shampoo. And I rinse really well until it rinses clean, and then I add conditioner. And you'll see me do that right about now. I'm going to add the conditioner. I don't use anything fancy on their hairs. They are boys. I just make sure I detangle well. I make sure I condition well. And everything always works out pretty good. And I have the big tooth comb, and I am just kind of combing through, especially to get out the shedded hairs, because he has been in his braids for a month, 4 weeks, which is a bit long for us because he does get rather tangled if he's not at least his hair isn't at least done every 2 to 3 weeks. But we made it to 4 weeks, and you can actually see right there in the back where I am putting everything that I'm getting out, and it's not a lot to say that he's been braided for 4 weeks. Myself personally, I would have had a lot more than that, and he's done that quickly. And it's fairly easy. I have it sped up so it looks a lot easier than it is. But I do this 4 times on 4 boys. And I just make sure I'm rinsing it really good. And it's just like, once we get to this, it's really like silk. It is. I dry it out as much as I can. Then I kind of scoop his towel that his face is on, wrap around his head, and he's up. Like literally, he doesn't have any wet on him. I've washed all the boys' hair like this, and it makes life easier. Here I am pulling the shed hairs out. And it's time for a trim. This is everything I use. And I start off with 1 single braid that I squeeze with a towel to get all of the water out. I separate his hair into 2 pieces. Some of this is self-explanatory. I'm apologizing to those of you who understand what's going on. but because my 9-year-old is videoing, I don't know how much can be seen or not seen or understood. So just kind of going through it to reiterate what's going on in the video. And he's not getting the best trim, but I trim off about a 1/4 of an inch, if that, of every section that I do, to ensure that he does not have any split ends or anything that's going to cause us issues later on. And like really, he doesn't have to have much cut. Now watching him, you can see that he's not very still at all. He's watching TV. And he really does not care what I'm doing to him at this point. He's just sitting there going through the motions with me. He's so used to it. The note is I only trim his hair maybe every 6 months. And he never has any breakage or any real shed hair or any real split ends. Once that section is completed, I just trim off a bit off the bottom to make sure everything is even, twist it up, put it away, and I'm on to the second half. I wish I could go this fast. It would make life so much easier. So I'm doing the second half right now, and the thing to note is, even though this is sped up, you see I always pull all the way straight down to cut, and that is hard on your back, girls. I promise you. I try not to complain about it, but it is it's hard on your back. It is. So I am done with that part. Now, the thing that I wanted to note also is you'll start to see him hold his head to the side. This just means he's tired of me doing his hair. He's turning around. He's just like, he's over this. He's ready to get up. But I'm trying to finish this. And I cannot see the top of his head in this video clip. But I'm pretty sure I'm almost finished with his trim process. But I don't stop no matter how agitated he gets, because it just has to be done. I straighten him up. He turns his head. It's a lot. This is me combing it together to make sure we're good at the end, and we are. And then I pull all of it together and smooth it to see if it's fully detangled, as well as if the trim ends are trimmed. And they are. Extra perk was I decided to measure his hair a little bit. It's not the most accurate because he's a little longer than what it is, but this says a little past 25 inches. He's actually a little longer though, but we'll go with 25 for now. And this is my Lakai, the 9-year-old that was recording initially. This is me just kind of showing you the texture of his hair, how curly he is. He's my really curly baby. And it's full and it's long. You'll see it's really frizzy at the top. All of their hair does that. And then in the bottom, you'll see the really defined curls. If I pull it down, you'll also note that his comes past hip length. Here's the front of his head. He's really super close. Sorry again. But you can kind of see his cowlicks right there that I smoothed down after I braid his hair, because he is completed. And he's going to rock 4 braids like his brother. And they're over me. They're building tents right now, so they're all over me at this point. But that's the 4 braids. You'll see a better shot with Xyier. This is Xyier's braids. And he's over me as well. So he's like, okay, Ma, everybody see me. This is the front of his hair before braids. And he doesn't have cowlicks, which is so funny because myself as well as all 3 of the other children have the cowlicks in the front, but he's very full. He's more wavy than curly, but nevertheless, at the top, you will note that he's frizzy, and under the bottom, you'll note that he has defined curls. There's no product on their hair. I do, however, braid with whip shay, and he's at hip length. And this is my sweet Khyli bear. His hair is everywhere. It always is. He does have cowlicks, deep cowlicks on the side. It doesn't cause me a problem, so I don't mind. He is everywhere, so his hair is very frizzy, and it's some defined pieces, but he's frizzy. So he has long hair as well. That's right at hip almost. Then you'll see this little spot here, which is at shoulder. He's had 14 surgeries, and they seem to cut the same spot over and over. So it'll grow back probably by the end of the year, but it's about shoulder length. So, you know, and there's only one more baby. Oh, yeah, hip length. That's the back. He has one thick braid and one thin braid from where his hair has been cut. I cannot wait for it to grow back. The last son is King. And although he has been washed and trimmed, he does not like his hair to be braided right now. Poor KHYLIL, he doesn't have his glasses on, so images are larger than they appear to him. But the next baby that's coming, you'll see his hair is just curly and all over the place, and that's primarily how he wears his hair. He doesn't really care for the braids right now. And he's coming up right now. Let's see. Bye, Khyli. Yeah. There's King. Thank you for watching. You have a good one.